To understand how this happened, you need to know about my grandfathers, Michael Gautraud and Paul Ressler. Michael was an engineer that worked for Brunswick, who had an impressive career. He helped design the first automatic pin setter and ball returns. This helped him get his name on patents. A lot of patents. About 9 inches of patents. He was also a skilled sailor and loved to race. He kept a logbook of every race he ever had. In it were charts and graphs and notes he would make, like, don't tack on a header. At the time of his death, he had in his office a pair of binoculars, pocket knife, a Good News Bible, a notebook titled Standards and Design Data that was filled with hand-drawn illustrations and graphs, and the most detailed descriptions of a spring I've ever seen. There was his slide rule, a hat that lived in the corner, 4 pairs of glasses, and this stained glass window. And one time, Michael noticed that the white plastic cylinders on his chandelier had started to burn. He replaced them with ceramic and they never burnt again. When Paul was 17, he left his friends and family, dropped out of high school so that he could join the Navy because he didn't want to miss the war. There, he served his country, traveled the Pacific, and made a real-life band of brothers. After he came home from the war, he became a sheet metal worker and quickly joined the Union. He loved fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. He didn't consider himself an artist, but whatever ability he had, he expressed through wood carvings. This is a brand new John Deere lawnmower. This is a Paul Ressler lawnmower. It's got a sheath for the saw, a holster for the clippers, weights in the front for balance, and extra storage in the back. For all the essentials. At the time of his death, he had in his workshop washers, nuts, bolts, screws, pop rivets, drill bits, and more screws. Spools of thread, old watch parts, tools, and more tools, pencils, a 5-pack of Don Juan razor blades, and a surprising amount of armor-piercing bullets. And one time during high school when Paul was bored, he made this doodle in his textbook. Then there's me. 6 years of college, still no degree. I probably eat too many eggs. I definitely drink too much coffee. Just kidding, you can never have enough coffee. I've pretty much always had great hair. This is the best thing I can do with a basketball. And currently on my desk is a wooden cat, a clock radio, a letter with notes on it, 2 unused notebooks, a glass prism, and a brass pineapple. People need real things. They need to connect with reality. And I grew up in a time that is filled with fake realities. My grandfathers grew up in a time that seemed far more authentic, and I wanted a piece of it. Paul left me a .22 rifle. It was the first gun he ever bought. Michael left me his Brunswick hat. He always used to sail in it. I used these 2 objects to connect not only to my grandfathers, but to the time they lived in. And I wasn't the only one looking for connections like these. Mustaches and straight razor shaving is a connection to an older time. Artisan coffee and craft beer grow more and more popular because of their connection to authenticity. I didn't want to just have things to connect me to the past. I wanted to experience it. So I bought a motorcycle, and it was awesome. Then there's my mom. She loves Alfred Hitchcock films. She has an interest in archaeology, which is why she's wondering if this is Herod's tomb. When Jesus said, "Man cannot live by bread alone," he had clearly not tried my mother's bread. And currently in her sewing room is a wall of threads, 2 sewing machines, really tiny threads, and this book which contains early 90s fashion patterns. But most importantly, she was unhappy about my bike. She thought I would end up on the hood of somebody's car or on the side of the road, but I tried to tell her I'd be wearing a helmet. But she still thought it was dangerous. And you know what? She was right. That's exactly what I wanted. In the months that followed, I started taking a closer look at my grandfathers, and I realized I didn't love and respect them for their accomplishments or the times they lived in. I loved and respected them because of what they gave to others. Both men were married for over 60 years. Both men had big families. These men gave to all those around them. And that was the biggest difference between what I was doing and what they did. I was concerned with having something, and they were concerned with giving something. So I decided my motorcycle was a lie, and I told my mom I'd sell it if I could make a profit. She offered me $1,800 on the spot because she didn't want me to ride it. I said $1,850, we shook hands, and that's how my mom became the owner of a motorcycle.